Minus the MTA Express bus, I haven't ridden a coach bus used for interregional travel for a few years. Even then, it was a charter ride when a few friends and I took a field trip from Staten Island to Donny Park in Wildwater Kingdom, and that's what I like. Companies like Greyhound, Academy, Peter Pan, and others have buses that they use for both scheduled and chartered services. So I thought, why can't airlines do something similar? Now, as a side note, despite the title of this video, I'm not saying that Greyhound or any bus company should start an airline. Besides, Greyhound actually tried it back in the late 90s, and it only lasted for about a year. Now, if you want some more side notes like that, don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell. Now, if you Google charter flights, they technically exist. The only setback is that planes used for charter flights don't use regular passenger planes. Instead, they're more like private jets like the Gulfstream G series or the Bombardier Challenger or Global series. And if you're like me, you can't afford to charter a private jet. So that leaves some of these charter companies with planes spending time on the ground instead of in the air generating revenue. I could see a new or existing budget airline trying to make their planes used for both domestic scheduled flights and domestic charter flights. How? First, they would need to have planes that could go at a decent range, which is usually smaller variants of a narrow-body aircraft series. So I would go with either the smallest variants of either the Boeing 737 series, the Airbus A320 family, or even the Airbus A220 family, just as an example. Next, I would reduce the typical seat capacity. For instance, while preparing for this video, I googled the seat map of an EasyJet Airbus A319, which has 26 rows of 3x3 configured economy seats. Now, if you do the math, that's 126 seats. That's okay for a scheduled flight, but if they had the same number of seats for a charter flight, would, for the sake of argument, 80 people. Those 80 people might have to pay for 46 unused seats, which might be a burden. Whereas if another airline had an Airbus A319 with a maximum of 15 rows or so, still with a 3x3 configuration, the price for a charter flight wouldn't be as much of a burden because there are fewer seats. And when there are no charter flights, the same plane could be used for scheduled flights and keep generating revenue. Personally, if I was to ever start an airline, I would try this approach. Other than that, what are your thoughts? Tell them in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter where I give my thoughts on public transportation. And follow me on Folk where I upload new pictures of buses and trains regularly, and you could use those pictures for your projects.